Do you have high cholesterol? Want to know how to lower it? In this video, I'll share the best foods to boost your good cholesterol, your HDL, and also the worst foods you should avoid, which can raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, linked to increased risk of cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and strokes, for example. So pay attention to these tips and foods to know what to eat and what to avoid. The word forbidden can be a bit harsh. Eating from the worst list once won't spike your cholesterol, okay? I just want you to be aware and understand what you're doing. What really matters is your daily routine, what you do every day. Of course, if you keep choosing foods from the worst list, your chances of high cholesterol or not improving are much worse. But I heard cholesterol is produced by the body and we can't change it through diet. That's a big misconception. About 70% of cholesterol is made by the liver, called endogenous cholesterol. This type is harder to modify through diet. The other 30% comes from food called exogenous cholesterol. We can definitely change this, and 30% is quite significant. It could be the difference between needing medication or not. Remember, I have no sponsorships or pharma funding and won't recommend any supplements or meds, okay? Just please like this video to support me, since I don't have sponsors. This way you help the video get shared, okay? Alright, let's start with the best options. For that, I want to know your knowledge level. Do you know what's best now before watching? Butter or margarine, coconut oil or soybean oil, lard or coconut oil? Do you know which is better? Let's talk, and I'm sure by the end you'll have all your doubts cleared and understand why. What foods can you add to your diet that have studies showing they can help with cholesterol? Number one that can help you are grains like beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Which of these do you prefer? I prefer chickpeas. It's what I've been eating most lately. These grains can reduce bad cholesterol by up to 5%, which is significant. In terms of diet, a 5% reduction just by adding one food is very healthy. Many people think, oh, but 5% is so little. Well, it's a series of changes you'll make for better health, not just adding a food or two. If it were that easy, everyone would have low cholesterol. Now, you might ask if cholesterol isn't good. Cholesterol is good, but the issue here is excess. We use cholesterol for cell membranes, hormones like cortisol, vitamin D, testosterone, and bile salts for digestion. So, cholesterol has many functions in our body, but when it's in excess, especially LDL, it can build up in arteries, increasing various health risks. So, yes, cholesterol is good, but be careful. What's a good cholesterol level? Going back to the grains I mentioned earlier, a good level varies from person to person. I'll give you two examples here. Imagine an athlete who's never had a heart attack, no high blood pressure, diabetes, or smoking. For this person, an LDL cholesterol of 130 would be good. Now imagine someone who's had 2 heart attacks, has atherosclerosis, smokes, has diabetes, and high blood pressure. For this person, a value of 50 would be considered good, 50 or even lower. Notice it's almost 3 times less than the first example. It varies and depends on each individual case. So there's no fixed value. Generally, this value ranges from 50 to 130. In some cases, it may vary, okay? But it depends on the risk the doctor calculates during the consultation. And number 2 that can also help you is eggplant. Here, I'm talking about fresh eggplant. Studies show eggplant has fibers that may aid cholesterol metabolism, even boosting good cholesterol. So, eggplant is an excellent food. This isn't about eggplant capsules or powder, which many people ask about. If you don't like eggplant, can you use eggplant powder? No. The studies were done using fresh eggplant. How you prepare it, like baking, is up to you, but you need to eat the eggplant itself. There are 2 main ways. The best ways to lower cholesterol through diet are, first, fibers that absorb cholesterol. Second, good fats like mono and unsaturated fats, which improve blood fat profiles. Number 3 is also about good fats, cocoa. Cocoa is great for cholesterol and may even lower blood pressure. Just look at all these benefits. It's rich in antioxidants and nutrients that can boost your health, lower cholesterol, reduce risks, and increase HDL cholesterol. What's the recommended dose of cocoa, given it's high in calories? Unlike eggplant, which you can eat more of, cocoa should be limited to 30 grams daily. That's about 1 square of 70% dark chocolate. Studies show consuming more leads to excess calorie intake, which can worsen health issues if you gain weight. Eating too much cocoa can increase insulin resistance, especially if you gain more fatty tissue. But 30 grams is the ideal dose, okay? A small piece of dark chocolate daily can be beneficial for your health. Number 4, fish. Omega-3 rich fish like tuna, salmon, and sardines. I'll include cod in this list too. Besides being good protein sources and improving body composition, fish also contain Omega-3 is well studied for boosting good cholesterol and improving the good to bad cholesterol ratio. Omega-3 is most beneficial when it comes from your diet. Recent studies from 2021 onwards, especially last year, have linked excessive omega-3 supplementation to an increased risk of a type of cardiac arrhythmia called atrial fibrillation, which can be dangerous. Just because fish is healthy and has omega-3 doesn't mean you should take omega-3 capsules. Always consult a qualified professional before taking supplements. Okay? Self-medicating can be as risky as self-supplementing, despite the belief that supplements are harmless. But if you add it to your diet, it's very healthy and can be good for your health. Number 5, olive oil. Olive oil has good fats, monounsaturated fats, which can boost your good cholesterol and lower cardiovascular risk. Olive oil contains antioxidants and can greatly benefit your heart and cholesterol levels. But what's the right dose of olive oil? It's calorie dense, like cocoa. I mentioned cocoa's dose, now let's talk about olive oil. Scientific studies show cardiovascular benefits with just 7 milliliters. Using too much olive oil means extra calories, which isn't good for your body. Remember, diet, weight control, and exercise all help reduce cholesterol. So watch your portions carefully. I know you've probably heard that heating olive oil can make it toxic. That's a myth. Cooking on your stove, like sautéing veggies, won't reach olive oil's smoke point where it loses its benefits. So don't worry about using your stove. It can't get hot enough to damage the oil's properties. Feel free to cook with it. Just stick to the 7 milliliters daily dose I mentioned to watch your calorie intake. Number 6 is another great food that I love and eat almost daily. Grapes. Grapes are packed with antioxidants and polyphenols, with compounds that can lower cholesterol, improve LDL oxidation, and reduce arterial fat buildup. So grape consumption is really quite beneficial. I know diabetics are thinking, but grapes are high in sugar. And you've heard sugar can be harmful for diabetics. Well, that's not entirely false, not a complete myth. If you're diabetic, you do need to be careful with grape consumption, especially grape juice, which is more concentrated. Though healthy, it can give you a higher sugar load and potentially raise your blood sugar levels. Now, if you're not diabetic, grapes are an excellent choice. This fructose, won't worsen your overall metabolism. On the contrary, it might even help. And if you're diabetic, grapes aren't off limits. Just watch your portion sizes. For diabetics, grape juice is best avoided, but eating whole grapes with skin is okay. Eating grapes with the skin and fiber can actually be beneficial for you. Number 7, red fruits. Red fruits like strawberries and cherries have anthocyanins and antioxidants that can help lower bad cholesterol. Many say cherries are pricey, but I'm speaking to viewers worldwide. So I ask you, where are you from? Which part of the world are you watching from? Are cherries available in your region? In my area, they're seasonal and not always available. I'm in Porto Alegre, but I eat them whenever I can. So red fruits are definitely a good option. Number 8, another fruit you love hearing about, avocados. Avocados are rich in healthy fats and can boost good cholesterol. Number 9 is also very healthy, especially for lowering cholesterol. Remember I mentioned beans and lentils can reduce by 5%? Well, oatmeal reduces it by another 8%. Oatmeal can lower it by 8% more. I'll also include other fibers like chia and flaxseed. They can improve metabolism, cholesterol, and digestion. Fibers are great for our health, but these also contain good fats. There are many scientific studies showing the benefits of oats. Remember what I said about grapes for diabetics? Well, if you're diabetic, be careful with oatmeal portions if possible. I actually prefer chia and flaxseed because more than half of oatmeal's composition is carbohydrates or sugars. If you're watching your carbs, you should moderate your oatmeal intake. But if you're not diabetic and just watching cholesterol, oatmeal is a good option. Chia and flax are super healthy options too. How much chia and flax should you eat? About 5 to 10 grams. That's 1 or 2 dessert spoons. And that's enough. For instance, if you ask how I eat chia, I prefer chia over flax personally. I add a dessert spoon to my fruit, or I mix chia in yogurt, which I find tasty. Feel free to share your recipe here to inspire others. I enjoy reading and often use your tips too. Now, let's look at the worst foods for high cholesterol. Those foods you need to be most careful with. And the number one food is bacon. Bacon is high in saturated fats. Unlike the fats I mentioned, like avocado or fish, the fat in bacon can raise your bad cholesterol. Many videos claim animal fats don't raise cholesterol. That's a big lie, okay? Animal fats do raise cholesterol, and by a lot, especially a saturated fat like bacon. So you really should avoid bacon. The number 2 food to watch out for is cream. Cream is also high in saturated fats. I know you've heard cream is healthy. I hear this from patients a lot. How can cream raise cholesterol? It's because of those saturated fats. This includes other full-fat dairy products too, like cheeses, especially yellow ones, such as cheddar. You need to be careful with these. Often you're watching other things like bacon and foods I'll mention, but overdoing it on whole milk products. So be mindful of cream. You might be using it in various recipes without realizing. And yes, it contains lots of saturated fats. The third food you should be most careful with is processed meats, like hot dogs, salami, coppa, turkey breast, ham, and salinite. These have saturated fats, raise cholesterol, and contain preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. Now you're thinking, if I eat salami once, will I get cancer? No, it's all about the amount. You'll see it's a small amount. Studies link increased bowel cancer risk to eating processed meats 3+ times a week. It's very easy to reach this amount 3 times a week. One day you eat ham, another day salami at a meeting. That's 2 already. Then you eat turkey breast thinking it's healthy. So it's easy to consume processed meats 3 or more times. Well, you have to be very careful with that. I remember when I was in Munich with a German colleague who ate sausages daily, morning and night. That really caught my attention. We had cholesterol tests done and his was very high. I'll never forget that. So be careful with processed meat consumption. Number 4. Another seemingly harmless food, which is tasty, is ice cream. Ice cream has saturated fats, and some brands even have trans fats, which are even worse. So be very careful with ice creams. Some brands are trans fat free, but you should still be cautious with this food. Number 5. This one's well known. French fries and fried foods, also high in fat. I won't spend much time on this, as it's the most discussed item for cholesterol control. Number 6. This one can be healthy, like others I mentioned. Coconut oil. Coconut oil contains a lot of saturated fat. Most of its composition is saturated fats. Did you know that? You've surely seen ads. There's lots of marketing about coconut oil's health benefits. It has some uses like for skincare, applying coconut oil topically. But for diet, if watching cholesterol, be careful. It has fat that can raise bad cholesterol. And it's not a small amount, okay? If possible, avoid coconut oil. Number 7. Another food to avoid with high cholesterol, answering earlier questions. Which is worse, margarine or butter? What do you think? I'm sure you said margarine is worse, but no. For cholesterol, avoid butter as it's high in saturated fats. Margarine isn't healthy either. If you must choose, pick margarine as the lesser evil, okay? Now you're thinking, how will I fry foods? What should I spread on bread, for instance? Well, for bread, I love pepper sauce. It's a great moist substitute. I really enjoy it. How about you? For frying, I use non-stick pans. No fat needed. For fried eggs, just use the pan. No extra oil, because if you add more fats to the food's natural fat, it's not good. Don't remove egg yolks when eating eggs, but do avoid other fat sources like pork lard. Avoid lard if possible. It's high in saturated fats. Use olive oil or do as I do. So use a non-stick pan without any added fat. It's better for your health. Were you surprised by the last few items? Let us know in the comments below. Now, number 8, which you probably know. Fatty meats, beef, red meat as we call it. These fatty cuts like ribs have more saturated fats and should be avoided. Number 9, which can also raise cholesterol, is poultry skin. Be careful with this. For instance, when eating chicken, it's best to remove the skin because it can increase your bad cholesterol LDL. However, the chicken meat itself is very healthy and can be beneficial for your health. Now, I'll suggest a video where I talked about high blood pressure. Did you know cocoa can help with blood pressure? Controlling blood pressure? There are other foods and habits that can help too. It's important to know. In this video, I discuss all of this. It'll be helpful. If you're managing cholesterol, you should watch your blood pressure too. Take care. See you next time. Click here.